welcome to the first episode of Cooking with JohnnyO. The objective here is to show you that making really good food for your family doesn't have to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, or cost a lot of money. In further episodes we will go over things like cookware, other cooking tips. Being that this is the first one we've done, we're going to do something very simple. Just make homemade salsa, which again, you can make it to whatever your taste is that you prefer, and also put in your own ingredients. And most of all, it saves a lot of money over buying salsa in a jar. One of the first things we're going to do is get a piece of green pepper. You may notice, hey, he has a green pepper in the freezer. Well, one thing to save a lot of money, especially if you don't go through a lot of food, because in my case our family is very small, freezer is your friend. Green peppers and mushrooms freeze very nicely. Quarter them or cut them into a few more pieces. Put them in a freezer bag. Keep them till you're ready to use them. About 30 seconds in the microwave and it's ready to dice. Okay, we have our ingredients. I like my salsa to be fairly hot. Also, I don't like onions very much, so we make this without onions. Basically, for hot salsa, we use 1 whole tomato, a habanero pepper, 1 large or 2 small cloves of garlic, and our diced green pepper. Also a little lime juice, a little cilantro. You say, oh my goodness, dried cilantro. Well, again, it's about doing this on a budget. We like to have cilantro, but at the same time, the fresh cilantro, when I buy that, tends to go bad before I use it all. So the dried is perfectly fine. You need a little bit less of dried spices actually, and after it soaks for, everything sits together for a little while, the flavor's there anyway. Also some cumin powder and lime juice. We'll start by coring our tomato. We're going to use a food processor, but I still like to cut the tomato into about 6 or 8 pieces. First we add the tomato slices. Then we'll dice our green pepper. You don't have to make it real small, but the food processor will leave some pieces a little bigger than you like. So add our green pepper. And this is optional. I've made it without the pepper also. Also we'll peel a clove of garlic. And we'll dice that up too. It's not, my fingers are wet. Noise you hear is our cat, who for some reason wants to get into the cabinet. And once again, the food processor will chop this up somewhat, but we still like to start off with a little bit smaller pieces. This is a habanero pepper. Do wash your hands after you touch this. With habaneros, the hot part is actually the seeds, not the pepper itself. If you want to make a little milder salsa, just use 2 tomatoes instead of 1. Of course, wash your hands after you touch the habanero pepper. You can add a 2nd tomato, double all the other spices, just use 1 habanero, and that'll be fine. Get our lime juice ready. So we like our cilantro. Again, this is dried cilantro, so we'll put a tablespoon of cilantro in. It looks like a little too much, maybe 2 teaspoons. Don't want to overdo it. About 4 tablespoons of lime juice. And we also want about a 1/4 teaspoon cumin powder. This gives your Mexican flavor. Okay. Just zap it in the food processor and we should be good. Once we get the lid on. Pulse it a few times. And get our spatula. Smells good already. When you make your own salsa, it does not have any preservatives in it like what you buy. So homemade salsa will keep it in the fridge, but it will not last as long as jarred salsa. That's good. Also very spicy. Be back later with more episodes cooking more food for your family.